Last time on RadicalSoda's Sword and Shield Review.
The sheep is now flashing. What?
Oh, shit! Ugh.
So Hop and I take the train out to the wild area just outside of Motorstoke. I receive an EV from a random dude just standing there, probably because of the Let's Go save data on my Switch. Actually, that reminds me, I also received a special Meowth. I hear that it can completely break the game and give you infinite cash using its Dynomax form, but in this Nuzlocke, we ain't using any gift Pokemon, so into the box with both of you. So anyway, we're in the wild area. After a bit of chatting with Sonia, in which she telekinetically moves her hair around, couldn't even animate the humans right, huh? Feels like it's turning into a .exe game. Sonia hands us the box link, which allows you to transfer Pokemon in and out of the box on the fly. Pretty cool addition, however it does make the game yet again just a bit easier. Speaking of easier, I just realized I was meant to turn off the XP share. Up until now, all my Pokemon have been getting XP without actually needing to participate. Let me just... Oh wait, that's right, you can't turn it off. You heard me right, folks. Pokemon, the series all about playing your way, the series all about creating and keeping bonds with Pokemon new and old, have completely disregarded both of those things I just said. Okay then, it's not even an item. What? Why? I don't understand. In all of the 3DS games you could turn it off. Why is this game so limiting and frustrating? What could honestly be the problem with allowing people to turn it off? Game Freak was actually asked about this, whether or not you could turn it off like in previous games. They said no, of course. Well, thank goodness they didn't at least lie. Again. But when they were asked what you could do if you only wanted one Pokemon to get experience, you know what they said? Just have that one Pokemon in your team. Fucking words of wisdom there. Hey, no fucking shit, but maybe I don't want to do that. Oh shit, I found it. The Tree of Legends. You know that modders have already made this tree look 10 times better, right? This ocarina-ass looking tree is no excuse to be as ugly as it is. You can also shake a very different looking tree to gather berries. Dude, this tree is completely fucked. It looks like something out of a toy set. It pops in and out like the Pokemon do instead of staying consistent like the other trees, and I don't know, man, something about gathering every kind of berry from a single tree rubs me the wrong way. Don't get me wrong, it's easy and quick, but it's completely random as to what berries you're gonna get, as well as finding the fucking things can be a nightmare. Again, what's with this fucking render distance on everything? By the end game, when I had a bike, I just kept accidentally running into shit, actually ruining the singular catch chance I had in an area. Also, before I forget, apparently this berry tree has all the berries on it, right? Do these look like berries? They look like plastic balls to me, and even when you shake the tree, they don't even fall to the ground, they fall through it. Then the game just tells you that they're there on the ground. Fucking lazy is what it is. Anyway, the wild area has a bunch of different places to explore, and I'll be treating each one as a separate route, as you would call it. That means that we can have a run around and catch a few different Pokemon. The first one being at this Dynomax raid battle, where you and a few friends, or NPCs if you aren't online or don't have a Nintendo Online subscription, or don't have any friends, can battle a giant wild Pokemon. Looks like this one's one of the new Pokemon because I don't recognize their silhouette in the slightest. What is it? Is it a funny looking coral Pokemon or something? Damn it! This game also doesn't bother telling you that you need Nintendo Online in order to play with other people for some reason. I just kept waiting here for a while until I just gave up. It turns out that it was searching my LAN network for others. Okay, maybe tell me that instead of just letting me wait. Yeah, apparently you have to open up the Wi-Com and then connect to the online in order to actually see any other people in the wild area. I don't have a subscription to Nintendo Online, by the way. I tried it out once, but even with really good internet, Smash Ultimate was still pretty laggy online, and I really don't feel like the service is really good enough to even bother with it, even if it is pretty cheap in comparison to other subscription models. I'd much rather have them add in a virtual console like in the Wii days, or at least add in a bunch of Nintendo 64, GameCube, and Wii titles to the eShop. To be honest, even if I was a big fan of Sword and Shield and I paid for online, I hear that it's one of the worst online experiences in any Switch game. And for a lot of people, it's just incredibly hard even to find a single person to raid with, or even to get updated stickers. People have had to find workarounds for this shit. Did I mention that the wild area is butt ugly? All the other routes in town so far have looked decent enough. In fact, there were some areas later on in the game where I was actually surprised by how good it looked. But this place? Damn, for one of the biggest selling points of this game, they really didn't give it much care, did they? Firstly, the weather system makes this place a hodgepodge of confusion and just pure drab. Most of the time the weather's pretty cloudy and grey, leaving the wild area looking washed out, but the other half you'll be biking along and the weather will suddenly shift from sunny to sandstorm to snowing in a matter of seconds. Each area in the wild area has its own weather forecast, and the game just doesn't care if it looks like shit or not. When the trailers first came out, I expected many different types of environments in the wild area. You know, you've got your desert area, your snowy area, your jungle area, and we kind of get that. We get a couple lakes in a semi-desert style area, but that's kinda it. The rest of it is just plains and trees. In fact, I found the wild area so bland, I spent the majority of the game just waiting until I unlocked a second wild area. There wasn't one. You can color me disappointed. But how about we talk about something new which I do enjoy? Replacing Pokemon and me is the new Pokemon Camp. You can set it up in the wild area, or any route or town you like, where you can interact, play, and cook for your Pokemon. It's not very in-depth. In fact, you can see where they cut corners on the AI of the Pokemon. Ooh. You'll often get Pokemon running into invisible walls repeatedly, and there are only 2 toys to play with, meaning it gets stale pretty quick. But the best thing about camping is the creation of curries. By mixing an ingredient and then up to 10 berries in your pot, you can then fan the flames, give it a stirring, and put your heart into it in order to create a great curry for you and your Pokemon. I screwed this one up. It didn't tell me there would be a delay. Here, look at my bitter curry. Why is there a green stench coming off of it? Well, Abomination seemed to like it because he went and evolved into... Dotler. Interesting. The curry making process is really fun to start with, but after a couple of curries you begin to realize it's getting a little bit repetitive. To whoever has finished the curry decks out there, well done to you, but this process takes far too long. If it took half the time, it would still be plenty. Just lower the XP gain from cooking. It's barely anything anyway. The only reason I ever cooked was just to see the really nice art and to make my Pokemon friendlier towards me. And the curry art is really nice. It's just unfortunate that most of the curry decks is the same curries with minor differences. For example, the spicy pasta curry and the bitter pasta curry is the exact same one, just with different aromas wafting above them. And they both take up 1 slot each in the curry decks. I would have, of course, much rather had many more ingredients, with the berries being used to either make the dish better or worse depending on what they taste like. For example, you'd probably want to enjoy a spicy sausage curry, but not a sour one. So the spicy one is tasty and the sour one is not. Look, I don't really need to explain this. Just know that I like the idea and I wish it was fleshed out a bit more, with maybe a better minigame to create them. You can only flap a fan and stir a pot for so long without getting bored of it. Also, I'd like to point out that there are 2 servings of curry. At first I thought this was just how much you made, but it's actually how much the first Pokemon in your party is eating. And it's really cute when they only eat a wee little bitty bit on a spoon, like Frostmoth eats the wee little bitty bit, but its pre-evolution Snom eats a goddamn mountain of food. I thought that was funny anyway. Gotta eat lots if you're gonna wrap yourself in a cocoon and dissolve your entire body and then reform it into a completely different looking creature, although it doesn't actually have a cocoon stage. I wonder if Pokemon like Weedle have similar eating habits then. Oh, wait, no, Weedle is not in the game. Wurmple, does no, he's not here either. Burmy is, you're fucking kidding me. Larvesta, there's a ton of Gen 5 Pokemon in the game. He's got it, really? Fucking, what's the most basic nostalgia pandering bug Pokemon they just had to put in the game then? Caterpie! But I'm not gonna check anymore, now I'm just sad. You'll occasionally find dudes hanging around in the wild area that sell you stuff, usually TMs or, is that pasta? Oh, I forgot to mention that you get XP candies for defeating Dynomax Pokemon. The more stars it has, the bigger the candy. They're kind of like if rare candies gave you a set amount of XP rather than just leveling you up. And I'll say this, they make the game so easy. Oh my goodness, I didn't really fight many Dynomax Pokemon on my first playthrough, but when I got to the wild area on my second, a few minutes of grinding later, and I was already extremely overleveled. On the one hand, this is great for competitive play. On the other, who gives a shit about competitive play? I can't even use Girafarig! Actually, speaking of the competitive Pokemon scene, you remember that special Meowth and Eevee I was talking about before? And how they had special forms when they Dynamaxed? Well, they're called Gigantamax forms, and they're banned in ranked battles for, get this, being too overpowered. And they said they were cutting the decks to help with balancing. Well, that lie turned out to be, well, a total lie, didn't it? Well fucking done. So far we have a bunch of excuses that turned out to be complete garbage in defense of the decks cut, and no actual reason as to why the decks needed to be cut in the first place. If anyone can give me a single good reason to cut the decks in the way they have, I will be very, very surprised. And keeping the team small so they can have good communication is not one of them, despite what they say. Good grief, I've spent this whole time complaining. This is like Sonic Forces all over again, and this video is going to be longer. And I hate Sonic Forces. But honestly, I think I hate this game more. And I love Pokemon. I've loved all the games I've played. I loved Fire Red, I loved Emerald, I loved Pearl, I loved White and White too. That sounded really weird and racist. That was where Pokemon peaked. That also sounded racist. Well, this script is But ever since Pokemon went 3D, the content has just decreased substantially with each new release, and the 3D models and worlds just aren't worth it. Speaking of going 3D, the Mystery Dungeon games, Red and Blue Rescue Team and Explorers of Time, Space and Sky were great. They didn't need the extra versions, apart from Red and Blue, they've been on different handhelds. But when, I don't even know the name, Gates to Infinity in 2012 came out, then Super Mystery Dungeon in 2015, even fucking Mystery Dungeon, a fucking side game, had all the Pokemon. Come on! Actually, the point I was trying to make is kind of ruined by Super Mystery Dungeon here. I know Gates to Infinity wasn't very good, but apparently this one was alright. I might have to give it a go. Alright, I'm back from giving it a go. It is clunky. It doesn't feel very good. I got about an hour in and I couldn't handle it anymore. A bit disappointed, but I guess that's just 3D Pokemon for me. I guess clunky is a good word. But I don't believe, however, that we'll be getting another Mystery Dungeon game in the near future. The only Pokemon side games we've gotten in the last few years have all been mobile, and they're all equally after your cash. I can imagine a Mystery Dungeon style mobile game where when you die you pay a few bucks to keep going, either that or a timed system where you can't enter a dungeon unless the time is finished, which you can of course pay to speed up, much like that in a 3DS Rumble game. I just want to pay for a game and then play it, thanks. In fact, that's why I like PC gaming, no stupid online subscription bullshit like on the consoles. Hi, I'm adding this in post. I've just seen the Mystery Dungeon remake announcement trailer, and I'm glad that we're finally getting another proper Mystery Dungeon game, even if it is a remake, which is a little disappointing. I played Red Rescue Team to death, so I'm very happy it hasn't been shoved into a mobile title. But there's one thing about it that really stood out to me. Even it has Megas now. It didn't even need them and it has them. It's adding in newer Pokemon too. Fucking hell. Does anyone else remember how in Let's Go, they didn't even allow evolutions of Pokemon like Onix, who evolved in a generation later than one? Okay, back to the wild area. It seems to me that most of the available Pokemon here are older ones. I very rarely found a new Pokemon as a Dynomax raid, but I don't think I ever saw more than a couple new Pokemon in the wild area itself. I remember Yamper, and maybe that grappling octopus guy. Speaking of old Pokemon though, here's a Gyarados. Oh, there he goes. And back again. Isn't nature amazing? This is fucking embarrassing, Game Freak. Well, here we are in Motorstoke. I meet up with Sonia at the Pokemon Center. Well, I say meet up. She bombarded me, much like the other NPCs bombard you every 30 seconds. She gave me Leon's Pokemon League training card and the ability to create my very own. Oh yeah, there's also this thing called Pokemon Jobs. I'll be honest, I used this thing once and then never again. You can send away a few Pokemon at a time to do Pokejobs, and after a set amount of time they'll come back having gained some XP. I think you can also get extra rewards like Soda Pops and Elemental Stones, Rare Candies, etc. But it's not much of an incentive when I can just get some XP candies from fighting Dynamax Pokemon. I don't see much of a point to these things if I'm being honest. Anyway, trainer cards. These are an interesting addition. Kind of like, sports cards, trading and all that sort of stuff. I remember something in X and Y being something like this, just in that game it was an introductory video, a trainer PR video if I remember correctly. Here though, it's just a collectible card as I said before, and you can give it to your friends. There's a fair amount of different poses and facial expressions, backgrounds and effects, that sort of stuff. You can create something pretty unique if you like. I didn't really make anything too special on my first playthrough, and I didn't even bother with it on my second, but I figure I should at least show what it's capable of. Here I went back and created one specifically for this video. Here. Really wants that plant. Here in Motorstoke, there's also a hair and makeup salon, so I went with a blonde ponytail, some different eyelashes, and
I've seen the end. Every one of us burns alive.
Speaking of eyelashes, I'll very loosely tie this complaint onto what's going on here. How about instead of every protagonist from the last couple Pokemon games looking like the same person with different clothes and hair, you give us some different eye options, huh? Heck, how about some different nose options, mouth options, maybe a few more hairstyles than we're in Sun and Moon? I mean, what if I want a crazy hairstyle like Gladion's, huh? I can't get it. What if I want to wear crazy clothing like the gym leaders or Elite Four do? I can't. What if I want to look like a smug asshole like this motherfucker? I can't. Because my character always has that dumbass blank stare that I can't get rid of no matter what I do. I got so sick of it I bought a pair of sunglasses. There's a couple of other shops here, including a coffee shop, much like the ones featured in X and Y. You can even battle the owner for neat rewards. Where the hell is this battle taking place? This floor isn't even the same as the coffee shop. What's going on here? After that battle, I used a small XP candy on Pistachio to evolve him into Thwacky. I mean, he looks cool and all, but it didn't really make me feel like I deserved it. There's always a sense of accomplishment when you finish a tough battle and your Pokemon evolves. Using an item just feels wrong. It's not even the same as using something like a water stone or whatnot. At least for most Pokemon that evolve with stones, you can't do it too early because they wouldn't learn all of their good moves. Also the fact that things like rare candies and elemental stones are usually pretty rare. The feeling I get is more akin to the one I get when my Pokemon evolves after a battle they didn't take part in thanks to the XP share. There's no sense of pride or satisfaction when a Pokemon evolves just because it was in your party. It didn't earn it, it hasn't been used. Why is it getting stronger for doing nothing? With the old XP share, at least the Pokemon that had it on was sucking half of the experience out of the Pokemon battling, making it a trade-off. Here, everyone just gets XP. Doesn't matter if they contributed anything. Here I was trying to show how fucking stupid it was that Onix just pops in and out of the world, but my Elgato hated that happening so much it tried to end its own life. I can practically hear it overheating as the software gore happens on screen. After entering the building where Gala gets to see all of the gym contestants this year via a broadcast, which also serves as the third gym, we're introduced to Bede, a rival gym challenger. He, pushes Hop aside? I think? Not like that have animated it, so I kind of have to guess at what they were going for. Hop also states that this place is packed with gym contestants and... ooh, there's like 10 of them. Ooh, that's a lot. Anyhow, apparently we get to pick the number to go on the back of our gym outfit. Nah, just kidding. That would be both immature and foolish. It turns out that the ceremony to start off the gym challenge doesn't start until the next day, so to end the night, Hop and I enter the Badoo Drop Inn so we can catch some Z's. But not Pokemon Z. That doesn't exist. Not that I want it to exist, I just felt that X and Y didn't have enough content. Yeah, I'll just keep going. Oh, for God's sake, Sonia, what the hell is it this time? More boring lore, is it? Yes it is. Nobody gives a shit about the Pokemon lore, Sonia, not when there's Girafarig to catch. Oh, I just made myself sad. Turns out the new antagonist team, Team Yell, is in the inn as well. Inside. The inn. Hope that clues you in to the inn situation we're in. They're not really doing much, just being loud, but they pick a fight with us anyway. What? With this shit again? Did they not bother creating any indoor battle areas? The cafe and now the inn? This is just lazy, honestly. Speaking of lazy, they're still only creating 2 models for the entire enemy team, huh? Somehow, for some reason, I expected something more. Heck, at least give one of them a different body type. I find it extremely hard to believe that every male member of Team Yell is overweight. Does the UK have a delinquent obesity problem going on over there? All of a sudden, Marnie steps in, a fellow gym challenger, and oh boy, she sure is a character! She is definitely just a strongly written and interesting person. Yep, her design is absolutely not adhering to a boring, bland side character with no compelling traits or plot points whatsoever. Apparently Team Yell's shtick is that they want Marnie, and only Marnie, to progress through the gym challenge, acting as fanboys and fangirls, if you will. The next morning it's back to the gym to receive my uniform and commence the ceremony. They show off all the gym leaders apart from one of them. That's not suspicious at all. I wonder why they didn't show him. It's almost as if his costume gives a plot point of the story away and they couldn't figure out a way to hide that fact apart from just saying, whoops, he couldn't be here today. Stellar writing there. Just absolutely fantastic, folks. And yep, it looks like I was right about the whole other 10 other challenges thing because we see a total of 6, including Bede, who didn't even show up in that cutscene. I guess they learned their lesson about putting more than 5 characters on screen at once from that cutscene earlier, huh? The first gym we have to head to is past Route 3, so Hop tells us to head to... Route 3. I probably could have explained that better. We also get the ability to fly to any previous areas we've been, which is nice. However, yep, that's right, folks, I hear saying, somehow hears several gripes about the move Fly? I do! Replacing the move Fly this time around is the Flying Taxi. This means no more HMs, much like in Sun and Moon. How fantastic! Wait, I mean to be complaining here. Well, first of all, where's the fly animation? Ever since the very first Pokemon game, there has always been an animation for flying. But in Sword and Shield, how about a Fade to Black? Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire let you ride around the region manually? How about a Fade to Black? Charizard giving you a super cool lift? How about a Fade to Black? They couldn't even get the loading icon completely right. There's a stray fucking pixel down there just mocking me for noticing it, and you won't be able to not notice it now. You're very welcome. Hop then challenges us to a battle on this bridge, or an open field. What? We're on a bridge. How did we get down here? Is this just another laziness thing and they didn't bother making a bridge area? Please just let it be a mistake. It's one thing to have all the indoor areas in a misty null space, but the outdoors? Route 3. This is the route where I used Swift on Pancham like a fucking moron before he booted my ass across the room. Well, I can't say he didn't suck. Also, I thought Pancham was dark type there for some reason. One more battle later and oh, leave me alone, Sonia! Oh, cool. An escape row. Those really difficult dungeons this game is full of, I'm sure. Or just any of the dungeons that this game is full of. Like in previous Pokemon games. I'm gonna move on. I'm just making myself sad here. In this area, I decided to check out an NPC's Pokemon camp. It's a neat little feature that I'm assuming you can use when you're online in the wild area to check out other players' Pokemon. And did I talk about toys the last time I spoke about camp? I don't think I did really. I mentioned that there are two, a feather thingy and a ball, and you can throw the ball as I said before, but you can also shake the feather around by pressing the A button, or by flipping your Joy-Con around. Actually, using the Joy-Cons in the cooking minigame is also extremely speedy in comparison to the regular controls. Not only can you flip your flapper at a high velocity, but if you really try, you can stir that curry at the speed of sound. I mean, I don't even know if it's better to stir it fast or not. Am I meant to keep it at a steady pace or what? The game didn't really explain it to me. What exactly classifies as a good stirring? I never got the best version of curry anyhow. I just didn't know what to do, in all honesty. The next batch of footage I recorded of Sword and Shield must have fucked the Elgato's wife or something because it corrupted so much my editing program was crashing every time I tried to drag it in. Thankfully, one handbrake later, and here we are, looking at the centipede with a mustache. Mario, get the hell out of there! Alright, I've been skirting around the wild Pokemon for long enough. Let's get something for the Nuzlocke already. I've been avoiding them like the plague. And it's the thing that killed Saxophone, for crying out loud. A nickname? Yeah, sure. Oh man, another free heal. However, could I have possibly continued on without it? So the next area is the Gala Mine. Looks like there's a wide variety of Pokemon in here for me to catch, like Roggenrola and Timburr. Ooh, yeah. I will say that the cave itself looks quite nice. I like the sparkly gems in the walls. However, they kind of did that already in X and Y. Just thought I'd point that out. I fought a couple of more trainers in here, including some strong, independent women. You know what? Despite the raw, powerful energy I'm getting from the strong women here, I'm noticing a distinct lack of other trainers in the routes and areas. Usually there's like more than 3 or 4. I mean, like in X and Y, there were like 7 on Route 3. It was ridiculous or something. Yeah, it's early game. There'll probably be more in the late game. Turn back. You don't want to play this far in, man. I did, however, run into Bede here, the arrogant prick. Maybe he can offer me a challenge. Well, he has all psychic-type Pokemon, so a challenge he may not be, but do you hear that music? Damn! Oh, yeah. Oh, here we go. Can we get... I swear to God, if you... Elgato, you suck! Shit, man, these tracks are such a jam. This game might have the very best battle music in any Pokemon game. Speaking of music, I didn't actually hear that Toby Fox track throughout my time with the game. I wonder where that goes. Oh shit, it's from the Battle Tower. I haven't gotten to that in my playthrough yet. I will have by the end of this review, just give me a bit. I've just finished the champion off and I'm dreading doing the quote-unquote endgame again. I'll talk about that when I get to it. Alright, so I still haven't caught a Pokemon here, so I guess I'll catch the only new one here in this area. So, the Roggenrola of the Gala region, of course Roggenrola being the Geodude of the Unova region, Roly-Coly, which I nicknamed Thrustini. Oh, and by the way, I called the Binacle Churmley. I renamed him to Chumley later on, though. You know, chum, fish, chum bucket. You get it. Wickle, I know. After that, it's right on to Route 4. I can see the town from here. You might have wanted to make this one tad longer. Oh, another free heal. Oh, good. I feel so proud of my competence. Anyway, I ran into this grey-looking ass thing here. It looks new. I thought I'd catch it. Meowth! I don't care who you are. That thing ain't a Meowth. Well, one heal ball later, and a strange bearded steel-type Meowth called Shockin' joined the party. If you're unsure as to why they decided to give Meowth an Alolan form, a Gigantamax form, and a Galarian form, all you gotta do is ask Charizard. He'll tell you why. Oh, dang! Seedot's in the game! For a second there, I thought I was gonna have to stop playing. Soon enough, we meet the first gym leader, right as one of his Wooloos roll into us. Mai, are you okay? You took that tackle head on. A fluffy ball of wonders and dreams roll into me. I think I'll be fine. This man's name is Milo, which is a problem because here in New Zealand, that's a chocolate drink, and the packaging is green. We meet up with Hop outside the Pokemon Center, and oh hey, that's a Yamper. Oh, for fuck! Leave me alone, so I'll shoot your dog. Guess who's back? Who could have guessed? Oh boy, the 17th encounter with her sure took me by surprise. She yaps on about the darkest day or whatever, something to do with Dynomaxing. You can see what looks like there to be what people have figured out is probably a Dynomax toxicity, but we haven't gotten far enough to see one of those yet, so shh. She also gives us 2 revives. Thanks. Oh boy, do I sure ever look like my head is on this grid and ugh, these things look better in real friggin' life. You can't even use it for your trainer card. Heading back to the gym, I ran into Hop heading outside of it. Apparently he beat it in the 30 seconds I was talking to Sonia. Either the gyms are total pushovers in this region or Hop's full of crap. Well, turns out that both of those statements were true. The gym's a total pushover, but there's no way that Hop could have made his way through all this bollocks in that amount of time. Oh, before I get into the gym though, turns out that you can buy the rest of the gym uniforms that don't appear in the game here. You can use them while inside the gyms for a bit of extra flair as opposed to the regular grey outfit that we saw previously. They're pretty expensive, but I think that's worth it, don't you? Oh, you can't wear them in the gyms. Well, I'm not wearing the stupid things outside of them. What's the point of it all then? In this gym challenge, the puzzle is to hurt a bunch of wooloot in the end of the path with some extra obstacles like Yamper or walls getting in the way. It reminds me of those old Flash games. There's also a couple of trainers, as is standard with the gyms. Again, even in the gyms, I figured at least I'd have a battle background here. Of all places! Damn, even Pikachu and Eevee had that. This is just ridiculous. Finally, we face Milo and... Whoa, another gem, hey! It's so good I'm not even going to bring up the fact that Milo's got fidget spinners attached to his sides. So what I did is Dynomax my Abomination in the first turn in this fight. I figured since Milo's only got 2 Pokemon, even Roxanne had 3, I could just one-shot both of them with Struggle Bug. I did one-shot the first one, but Eldegoss turned out to be a bit of a bigger challenge. And by that I mean it took a few extra hits while doing no damage to me whatsoever. Oh, and look at that Thrustini's evolving, even though I've used him a total of 0 times so far. Oh, how that fills me with pride. What the fuck, man? Well, on to Route 5, and we have a battle with a reporter and her cameraman. I remember in Emerald there was a similar couple that followed you around. Gabby and Ty, yeah, that was it. They had a Magnemite and a Whismur, and it says here in Pulpopedia that you fight them 6 times, so you got to see their progress and evolutions into Magneton and X-Cloud. I can see that these two have something kind of similar with Clink and Helioptile. And oh hey! Oh. In Emerald, they asked you for some words after the battle. I wonder if they'll do that here. Nope, of course not. Yeah, Stuffle's great and all, but I want a new Pokemon. Now, what's the point if all I'm using are old ones? Oh, so you can leave your Pokemon in the daycare now just by talking to the old lady outside. Wait, she's not old. Well, I don't need to, so I'll just move on.
But what RadicalSoda didn't know was that a man inside the daycare would have eagerly given him a brand new Pokemon, Toxel, which evolves into Toxtricity. Although RadicalSoda said he wasn't using gift Pokemon for this Nuzlocke, so I guess this segment was kinda pointless. I had soup for lunch today.
Soon enough, we run into Team Yell again. What an awful name. They're harassing some guy about a bike. Obviously, this is the place where we get the bike ourselves. Oh, well, we'll stop this shit and then be on our way. You dare taunt me with a saxophone evolution? Kinda glad he died now, actually. Also, we're battling on a bridge and are somehow in an open field again. What attention to detail this game has. So we get the bike. Oh god, I'm hideous! Even more hideous than the Nickit evolution, and that's saying something. So Hop challenges us to another battle. I mean, it hasn't been really all that long since the last one, but I appreciate him at least fighting us more often than once every blue moon. Wait, hang on. What's weird about this picture here? That's right, we're on a bridge! They did make it a battle area! Dang, folks, I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to suspect that this game was maybe just a little bit rushed. We've had 2 other battles on bridges. Who's making this? Who's making the decisions? I mean, firstly, there shouldn't be a problem. Game Freak has the resources to turn any goddamn area into a battle area. Making sure you have the right arena in each area should be the bare minimum you should be aiming for. Don't even remind me about the town battle arenas either, damn it. Pokemon is wasted giving it to this company. And again, I just want to clarify, not the workers, not aiming any of this at the workers. They have obviously been dragged through the mud making this game. Whoever the higher-ups making the decisions are, given the tiny budgets, cramming the games into these yearly releases, taking content out of the games, fuck you, alright? But not the people working so hard to actually make the games. I don't know who falls where, I just know someone somewhere is making these decisions and is having a huge negative impact. Aside from that, the only other noticeable thing in this fight is that yes, the double kick animation still is a static bounce. That's all that happens here, really.
Oh, what the... Sobble, what happened?
After that battle, Hop gives us a revive. Thanks, Hop. Here we are in Hillbury, home of the water gym. Wait, what am I doing at the PC? Hang on. I was checking out the Pokejobs again? I thought I only used those once. Ah! So exiting the Poke Center, we're stopped for a small cutscene where the chairman of whatever his business is just being surrounded by his adoring fans. Oh, all 2 of them, what a crowd. B talks to the chairman for a bit. He was actually endorsed for the gym challenge by him, as I said before. That's why he's such a cocky asshole. But never mind that, there's a hot babe here who goes by the name Oleana. Now we gotta get that water badge, because Oleana told us to. Kind of rudely, actually. Well, she's a bitch, isn't she?
I have a few lists.
Now, usually in Pokemon games, when the story doesn't want to let you progress any further on account of you not yet having the badges acquired or something similar, they'll implement a roadblock of sorts. Sometimes it'll be an old man lying drunk on a path, or maybe a boulder ending the HM Rock Smash, or possibly some construction work will be happening, you know, something which makes at least some semblance of sense. So let's see what Sword and Shield have got going on. Team Yell. Well, it's not an uncommon thing to see the evil team block in the way. As long as they aren't every single roadblock in the game, this is absolutely fine, because there's no way they'll do that. That'd be silly. That'd be silly. Before I even set foot in the gym, I had to wander around to the lighthouse where Nessa was just hanging out, looking at the sea, I guess. She headed back to the gym because that's her job. She should have been there in the first place. And I had a wee break to do some fishing. Hey, if town counts as a new area, so why not catch me a new Pokemon? Oh, here we go. Oh man, it's just a choodle. Not the biggest fan of this one, really. Not really a big fan of Dreadnought either. Hey, wait a minute. Are we in the fucking field again? Anyway, I called him Waddles, and into the box he goes. Not like he'll be much of a help in the water gym anyway. I already got a monkey for that. I decided to check out what else you can get here by fishing, and... Damn it, that's what I wanted! Shit, is he doing the Fortnite dance? I love Fortnite.
Next time on RadicalSoda's Pokemon Sword and Shield Review, will Thwacky evolve into something as equally disgusting as Drizzile? Does Oleana have a kink for white boys with long hair? And does RadicalSoda really love Fortnite that much?
I don't love Fortnite, by the way. I just want to make that clear.